Hello, hello. Hello to you all. Welcome to another session here with us at Mathematics Resource Center. It has been a while, yes, it has been a while. So today we'll be looking at function, and I trust that this will be helpful for you as you do your studies. All the best. Do remember to click that subscription button, click that like, and definitely leave a comment. Let us know how it was for you. And if you want to leave a question, ask any question whatsoever, we'll try our best to respond and support you. All the best. All right, so these questions are taken from Carbit Math. So these were taken directly from Carbit Maths 2017. I'll put the link in the description below for the exact paper. Carbon Maths has some really good questions that you can get, quick questions that you can use in your lessons if you are a teacher, and definitely for students as you practice. And they also provide the solution for, I believe, almost 99% of their papers. I believe. But majority of the papers that I've looked at, they always have, or the worksheets, they always have the solutions available. All right, so we're going to go with function. And the first question here is, given f of x equal to x plus 1 divided by 3, calculate the value of f7. All right, in calculating the value of f7, just trying to zoom in. All right, that's as far as we can go with that. In calculating the value of f7, what you realize here is that up here we have f of x, right? Down here we have f7. What do you realize? Where there was an x, there's now a 7. Exactly. So now what we're going to do is that wherever we see the x, we're going to replace it with the number 7. So now we're not having f of x anymore, we're having f7, which means that anywhere we see an x, we are going to substitute the value of 7 because 7 have now taken the place of the x. So we go and we have 2. So coming in with the function now, so it's 2x. So I come to the x, I'm not going to write x anymore because where x is, x have been replaced with the number 7. All right, so that's the 7, and then plus 1 divided by 3. And that's basically it. Let's just simplify and we're good to go. 2 times 7 is 14 plus 1 divided by 3. 14 plus 1 is actually 15 divided by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And that's it. How about that? Quite easy? I know you'd say it's easy. And we're finished with that question. Let's go to B. F inverse X. Okay, so F inverse X. So we're going to erase here. Remember, you can always put the video back as many times as you want to go over a question. So we're going to do F inverse X. All right, so when we're doing F inverse X, so let me just erase that bit first. What we're going to do first is to rewrite this function. So we have f of x equal to x plus 1 divided by 3. When we're going to find the inverse of that function, the first thing that we do is to let's replace f of x with the letter y. So when you have f of x, g of x, h of x, it's the same thing as having y equal. So we now have y equal 2x plus 1 divided by 3. So that's the first thing. What we have done is to replace. So let me see if I put that replace. So replace f of x, f of x, f of x with y. So that's the first step we have done thus far. So we have replaced f of x with y. And let me see if I can get this moved down any bit. All right, so that's the first thing that we've done. Can't get it moved from where I am. All right, so we have replaced f of x with y. So now what we're going to do is to interchange x for y and y for x. So the next step, I'm just going to write it here. Number 2, interchange x for y and y for x. All right, so that's the second step. So we're going to interchange x for y and y for x, which means that where I have y, I'm going to put x. Where I have x, I'm going to put y. So I go ahead, I have y first, so I'm going to write that as x equal. I have 2, then I have x, that's going to be y plus 1 divided by 3. The next step, which is the second to last step, is to make y the subject of the equation or of the function. Step 3, make y the subject. So we're going to make y the subject of the function. And we're using the words. These mathematical words, yes, we're using them. All right, I don't want you to shy away from the words. I want you to actually use the language. All right. All right, I'm trying to see if I could get this smaller, but no luck. All right, so we're going to make y the subject of the function. In making y the subject of the function, one other thing is you realize that we have a fraction here, right? We're being divided by 3. So to remove that 3 is the first thing we're going to do is to multiply both sides by 3. And I like going through this because I want you to see the balancing. What I do to one side, I do it to the other side. So 3 cancel the 3. Then we have 3 times x, which is actually 3x, equal 2y plus 1, because that's all that's left on the right-hand side. Now I am going to get rid of the next value. And this is transposition, changing the subject of the formula, right? So in this case, which we're making y the subject, same thing, same principle that you have been taught in algebra. So we're going to remove the 1 first, and then we'll remove the 2 next. So in removing the 1, right, we're going to subtract 1 from both sides. So we subtract 1 there, and we subtract 1 there. In subtracting 1 from both sides now, on the left, I now have 3x minus 1 equal, on the right, what's left on the right? 2y. Just write down what you see. Nothing too technical about it. Just write down what you see is there. And the last step now is to divide through by 2. So we divide both sides by 2 because our aim is to get y by itself. So we divide both sides by 2. 2 cancel 2. Now we're left with, I'm just going to write it over here since my space there is limited. I'm left with, I'm going to put the y first. Y equal, and then 3x minus 1 over 2. All right. It's a little bit messy. So let me see if I can clean the board up a bit. So take off those. And let me take this bit off that I just wrote here. And how about putting it right here? How about keeping it here? 3x minus 1 over 2 equal y. Good. So y equals 3x minus 1 over 2. They ask us to find the inverse of the function f of x. So what we're going to do is to just write it with the language that they have given us. And it is f inverse x equal 3x minus 1 divided by 2. So remember that earlier up here, we said we change this to that, right? So remember when we change the f of x to y, so it's the same thing now. Now that we have found what y is, now we're going to, the inverse of that function, when we're writing it, we write the inverse of the function f. So f inverse x equals 3x minus 1. That's pretty much it, right? And we can move on to the next question. Remember, you can come back and look at the question. You can pause the video, play the video as many times as you want. All right. And don't remember to subscribe, share, leave a comment, click that like button so that more persons can see these videos. Definitely. Let's continue. All right. So in continuing now, we have number 2. All right, so I'm going to give you a little time to try and do number 2. It's a little bit different, but you might have done functions before. So just give you a little opportunity to just see if you can do number 2, and then we just go into it. How about that? So I give you like a 2 minute, try number 2, and then we go into it. Okay, so should have gotten enough time to attempt that. So let's go. The function f of x and g of x are given by the following. F of x equals 3x minus 1 and g of x equals 2x plus 4. Calculate the value of f of g2. All right. So this is kind of like a relay, if you would take it like that. And this relay come from, we're going to put it from this angle. Gonna start from this person, hand the button to G, and when G get the button, G is gonna give F the button. Same thing when I come to find the value of F of 3. 3 is gonna give F the button. After F get the button, I'm gonna hand the button to a next person that name F, him twin brother, right? Same person, same looks, them look alike, identical, right? So we're gonna do that. So the first thing first is that we're gonna take um 2 and give it to G. So since we're gonna take 2 and give it to G, we're gonna write down the function G of x. So G of x so G of x equals 2x plus 1. Good? So now we say we're gonna put 2 into G. So we're gonna find G2 first. G2. So G2 is therefore 2 wherever we see x. So remember what I told you earlier, that we no longer have x there, we have 2. So wherever we see x, we're going to change it and put in the value for x, which is now 2. All right? So we have 2. So 2 times 2 plus 1. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1, which gives us 5. So that's us handing the button. Forgive me with my language, please. But that's us handing the button or whatever the word is to G. Good. Now we're gonna hand it from whatever G2 is now. That is now 5, right? So G2 now have what would you say now? Have covered 5 meters. So at this point now G2 is gonna hand over the button to F. All right. So we're gonna hand it over to F. So F now is going to get 5. So what F is going to get is actually 5, the value of 5. So 2. So in other words, let's talk about investment then. So you invest the money with the G Bank. And after you invest the money with the G Bank, you get an increment of $3 on it. You take it now, your $5, and you're gonna invest it with Bank F, right? That kind of make real good sense. All right, so now we're gonna put 5 into the function f of x. So let's write down now. So this is what we're going to be finding now. So let's write down now the function f. Since we're gonna be taking the 5 now and putting it into f. So the function f is f of x equals 3x minus 1. All right, so we're going to do f5, which means that wherever we see x, we're going to put in 5. All right. So 3, we come upon an x here. So the value, trying to make some better arrows. All right. It's not working out. So the value of x there is going to be 3 minus 1. Now we have 3 times 3, which is 9, minus 1, which is going to give us 8. And that's our answer. So now we come back up here. We'll just tidy it up a bit. And they ask us for FG2. And let's just write it in the space here. FG2 is actually 8. Good. What we have done, take the 2, put it into G, whatever value you get out, take it and reinvest into F. And that's what you have to do with your money in real life. Invest into one thing, you get back your little return. Do a little short-term investment, you get a little return, you take it to, okay, I'm going to invest into a next thing, right? And you just reinvest it. You keep growing. Eventually, you become a multimillionaire. Good. So let's go on to B. So B now says, let's see if we can zoom in. Can zoom in further? No. So B now says, find calculate the value of f of 3. So what we're going to do is actually take 3, put it into f, invest it into f, and then after we get the return of that, we're going to reinvest it into f again. In other words, you could say f is identical to f. There are two investment companies, but they're basically brothers. They invest, so they basically offer the same in the same increments, everything. So if you want to put it like that, so you're gonna invest it into F first, and they have the same name. And you're gonna invest it into F again after your return. Or you get your money and you reinvest it into the same bank, whichever way you want to put it, whatever makes you happy. So we're gonna take F3 and put it into F first, the function f of x. So we write down that function f of x equal 3x minus 1. What we're going to put into it? 3. So we're going to write f3 equals 3, open bracket 3, minus 1. 3 times 3, 9 minus 1, which gives us 8. Now that we have found f3 to be 8, we are going to take this f3 and invest it into f. Take it and invest it into f. So we're now going to have f8 that we're looking for. So let me write the f8 here. So we're looking for f8, right? Same f function, so write down your function. For some strange reason, I think it's good to always write down your function because it prevents you from making any mistake whatsoever. So that equals 3x minus 1. So we're going to do f8 equals 3 times 8 minus 1. 3 times 8 is 24 minus 1. 24 minus 1 is actually 23. So we're finished. Now let's just do the last bit, which is to write what our answer is. So they ask us for f of 3, which equals 23. And that's our answer right there. Let me take that off. So that's our answer right there. So you invest it into the bank of f, got a return, reinvest it again. Basically, you can put it in that light if that makes you see it better. Moving on. Okay, so this one here, we're going to put f of x into g. So whatever f of x is, we're going to be putting it into g. So let's just go back and look at what f of x is and what g of x is. F of x is actually 3x minus 1. So we're going to take that 3x minus 1 and we're going to substitute it into the function g. So since we're going to be substituting into g, we're going to write on the function g. So whatever function you're doing your substitution into, that's the function you write down. So g of x equal 2x plus 4. And what did they say we're investing into g of x? We're investing f of x in it. So x is invested into f, and we invest in f of x into g. All right. So we're going to go. So we're going to have a g f of x, which therefore equal to 2. And wherever we see x now, if you realize that where x was here, we actually have this bit. So where x was, this is what we have now. That's what is there now, f of x. So wherever we see x, we're going to put in what f of x is, and f of x is 3x minus 1. Make sense? No, it makes sense. Moving on. Open bracket, 3x minus 1, close bracket, plus 4. Now we have substituted the value of f of x where x is. We're going to expand our brackets and simplify. 2 times 3x, 6x. 2 times 1, 2. 2 times and plus 4. 6x minus 2 plus 4, that is 6x plus 2. That's our answer. Take a nice look yourself. Come and write your answer down here. And you write your answer here. I just like writing it over. gf of x equals 6x plus 2. You realize we don't get any exact value. Why? Because they did not give us a value for x. We didn't get a value to substitute in for x. You understand? So we only put the function into the next function. So we take that big function and we say, okay, since this is your investment plan, we're going to take F investment plan and invest it into G. All right. Know that if I take F investment plan and invest it into G, my new function is going to be 6x plus 2. So I can move from here and say, okay, Malika, if it's the case where I substitute 2, what's my return going to be? Oh, my return is going to be what, 14. If I invest $3, what my return is going to be. So you can start thinking about it like that. All right. Finish with this one. We're going to move on to the next question. Clear. Okay. So just the same, number 3. All right. So I'm going to give you how many minutes? Give you about a 5 minutes. So just move yourself around, attempt this, see what you can do with this bit, and then we get started right after. It's a good thing I was looking in the chat. All right, so let me go back to and make that correction. 5 is actually incorrect. All right, thank you for that. This more because I wrote it down wrong. I wrote down 2x plus 1. All right, so let's double back on that. Which one was that? When we did G2. All right, so let's do G2. Let's do G2 again. So G2. So doing G2. So G2. So let me see what I had. I had two. I had 2x plus 1. So G2. So let's do G2. So I wrote it down incorrect. Thank you so much for that. This more. All right. So GX equal 2x plus 4. I wrote plus 1. So G2 is actually 2 times 2 plus 4, which therefore gives us 2 times 2, which is 4 plus 4, which gives us 8. Thank you so much, my darling. Now, G2 is 8, so we can write it here. G2 equal 8. So we know that bit. So now we're going to take our G2 and we're going to put it into F. So we're going to write G8, F8 now. So write down our function F first. So F of X equals 3x minus 1. And in that, we're going to put what G2 is, and G2 is actually 8. So F2 equals, wherever we see x, we're going to substitute 2. So it's going to be 3 times 2 minus 1, which equals to 6 minus 1, which equals to 5. Which means that FG2 equals 5. All right. All right. Thank you so much, Dismore, for the correction. All right. All right, good. So if you see any errors, just don't be afraid to point it out to me. All right. I welcome any correction. All right. Good. I'll pay attention to the chat so that I see if I'm making any other mistake that you're pointing out. All right, so let's get back to the next question. All right, so this is a question, and I'm just gonna start the 5 minutes again. So you take your time and just work yourself through the question. All right. Okay, so let's get into this one. All right, so for this one, they say f of x, g of x, h of x. The function f of x, g of x, and h of x are given by the following. F of x equal x squared minus 3. This that start to make you shiver a bit. And then g of x equal 2x plus 1. Oh, that's fine. I've worked some like that before. And then I see h of x equal x over 2. Oh, Lord, fraction. How am I going to do this now? Don't worry. You'll do it just fine. All right, let's get to it. So the first one says f g of x. So it means that I'm going to be putting the function g of x. Nice little function here. We're going to invest it into f. See if we can make that again. Put that into f. Since it's going into f, into the bank of f, we're going to write down, we're going to establish what that bank is. So f of x equal x squared minus 3. Good. We're going to be putting in the function g into it now. So we're going to have f g of x. This basically means, what does this mean? And I need you to can be able to explain these things, Wherever I see x, I am going to put in what g of x is, which is 2x plus 1. Right? So I come over here and I see x squared. Okay, I see x. So I'm going to write 2x plus 1. Open and close bracket and put the square out there because it's x squared. Right? So that means anything I put there everything must be squared. Put back our minus 3 equal. Now what is 2x plus 1 squared? Well, this you should be able to can do because this is perfect square. So you should be able to say, okay, 2x, um, 2x, 2x times 2x, which gives us 4x square. And then you should be able to say, okay, I am going to multiply that bit by 2. So it's going to be 2x plus 1 times 2. So it's going to be, no, not 2x plus 1. 2x times 1 times 2. So that gives me 4x. So that's 4x. And then the 1, we're going to square it as well, which just give me 1. So you're supposed to can work out difference of 2 square without even going through this long process. 2x plus 1. But if you don't know how to do it, write this down. Better you write it down. Take a little 30 minutes, 30 seconds extra, but get it right. And do your distribution. 2x times 2x, 4x squared. 2x times 1, 2x. 1 times 2x, 2x. 1 times 1, 1 times 1, 1. And that would have simplified to be 4x squared plus 4x squared plus 4x plus 1. Same thing that we got up there, okay? So if you don't know how to do it, the shortcut using the perfect square method, just work it out long way. All right? Simplify this, 4x squared plus 4x minus 2. And that's it. All right, that should be good. Let's get to the next one. So we're going to put h of x into g. So we're going to put h of x. Let me check the chat to see if anyone have commented anything else that I might be missing. Feel free to leave your comments as we go along. All right, so check over the last two questions for number 2. All right, I'm going to go back and check them over. All right, my darling. All right, so we're going to go back and check over the last two questions for number 2 after we finish doing this. All right, so let's go find gh of x. So find g h of x. So we're going to put g of x into h of x into g. So g of x equals 2x plus 1. All right, I'm going to put h into that. So which means we're going to have g h of x, which equals 2, wherever we see x, wherever we see x, come on now, wherever we see x, we're going to put in h of x. So it's 2, open bracket, x over 2 plus 1. 2 cancel 2, leave us with x plus 1. That's basically it. G h of x equals x plus 1. All right, good. Final one here. Find the inverse of h. So h of x equals x over 2, right? We're going to replace h of x with the variable y. So y equal x over 2. Yes, we need to interchange x for y and y for x. So it's now x equal y over 2. We need to now make y the subject, which means we're multiplying both sides by 2. 2 cancel 2. So we have 2x equal y. Good. So we just write it up to say, okay, h of x is what we're finding. H inverse x. So we're going to say h inverse x equals 2x. Yeah, perfect. Let me just double check this to make sure. Y equal x over 2. Interchange x for y and y for x. So x, y, and make y the subject. And multiply both sides by 2. And we're good. Now let's jump back to number 2. So we look at that comment in the chat. And we're going back to number 2 to see what we did. What we missed. Okay. So number 2. So we have done the first part. We have went back and done the first part. So let's go over to B. So we're going to put 3 into F first. So we're going to do, so it's f of x equals 3x minus 1. So we're going to do f3, which equals 3 times 3 minus 1. All 3 3s. Yeah, but 3 times 3 is 9. Yeah, so this is correct. 9 minus 1, which equals 8. I was just saying 3 3s and I was about to say 27. Anyway, this is correct. So that's what we got first. And then we take it and put it into F. So now we're going to find F8, which is therefore 3 times 8 minus 1, which equals 3 times 8, which is 24, minus 1, which is 23. Don't quite remember if it's 23 that I got for that one. So let me just double check to see if that's what I had previously. All right. Three eighths, 24 minus 1. Minus 1. 3 times 8 is 24, minus 1. Mm, yeah, so that's what we got for that one. All right, let's check the last one now. Let's check C. See if where C is where we made the mistake, the next mistake. All right, so G f of x. So G, so we're going to put f of x into G. So the function G of x is actually 2x plus 4, right? And we're going to put it, we're going to put f into it. So we have G f of x, which equals 2, which means that we're going to put And where we see x, we're going to put f of x. So it's going to be 2. It's going to be 2 open bracket 3x minus 1 plus 4, which therefore gives me 6x minus 2 plus 4, which gives me 6x plus 2. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. So let me just check if I made any mistake on this aspect. Which one is this? Um, no? All right, so this looks perfectly fine. All right, so just tell me if you see any error and I'll double check it just to make sure. All right. 2a equal 23. Yeah, so that's what 2b. Let me see. That's what 2b. So 2b is 23. That's what we got for 2b. Let me see what we just did. For 2b, so 9 minus 1 equal 8. Yeah, so we got 23 for 2b, not 2a, but 2b. For 2a though, what did we get for 2a? For 2a, we put 2 into g. So 2 2 is 4. 4 plus 4 give you 8. 3 8 is 24 minus 1, which is 23. What did I get? Oh, did I write down the same incorrect thing again? Okay, so let's check 2a. So let's do 2a. So I checked 2b. So 2a is the one that we're gonna check. All right, so let's check 2a. So 2a, so we're gonna put G2 into f. So we're gonna write down the function f of x, which is actually 3x minus 1, and then we're gonna put fg2. Good. And what we're going to do is to put in fg2 into that, which therefore gives us 3 open bracket. No, put let's backtrack. So we're going to do g2 first. So write down the function g of x equal 2x plus 4. And we're going to do g2, which is therefore 2 times 2 plus 4, which gives us 4 plus 4, which gives us 8. So now it's going to be so g2 equals 8. So now we're going to go ahead and put in the value 8 into f. So f of x is actually 3x minus 1. So we're going to put in the value which is 8. So f8 equal 3 times 8 minus 1, which gives us 24 minus 1, which is actually 25, which equal 25. All right? Yeah, so that's it. So not 25, 23. No, I think I need to go to my bed. Yeah, I think I need to go to my bed. 23. So 24 minus 1, which is 23. I think I need to go to my bed. All right. What time is it? 5 minutes past 12. And so I'm actually in the next day. Maybe I'm tired. All right. So FG2 equals 23. Thank you so much, this for paying attention. Thank you, darling. All right, good. So that says 23. Good. All right. So we have done question 3. We have done question 3. And I'm just going to leave you with the next question for homework. I'm definitely going to my bed. No more questions. All right. This one. Um, Let me see. How about I leave you with questions 6 and 7? So take a go at question 6 and 7, and I will do the solution and just post a picture on charts. So you'll see it on charts with the solution. All right, and these questions were taken from Carbit Math. Thanks again for watching, for joining us this more. Thank you so much for being here and for supporting me. I am going as well, my darling. All right, have a good night. God bless you all. And remember to hit that subscription button, hit that like, and definitely leave a comment and share. Good, good, good. Have a great night.